I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't say at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth last...
Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 3 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. Saying a special good night to all of you joining us via the various mediums. Yeah, those of you joining us via YouTube, those of us joining us via Facebook, those of you joining us via our website. Yeah. Also, those of you listening via 94.9 out there in Brooklyn. We Noise Radio.
Game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow.
Yes, folks, and we have quite a lot to speak about tonight, huh?
Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people.
Let me say goodnight to those of you on the Facebook tonight. Let me just make sure I'm seeing it. Yeah, Red Girl, Tyrone, Nikisha, Jillian, Linda Imelda Francois, Nikisha, Charles, Norma. Let me see who else is there. Williams, Denise, Renwick, Cindy, Lisa, Winnie, Maria. Did I say Maria already? Yeah. Antonito, Duncan, chop right. Good night, bro. Let me see. Filma, Dominique, Lynn, Golden Brown. I'm seeing David. I think I mentioned Trisha already, but I think there's another Trisha. Louisa, Shirley, Lacrette, good night to you. Nadia, Nicola, Tora, Shemaine. I know you're there every night, girl. Yeah. Let me see. Jeanette, Alexander, Sharon, Shamay, Keisha, Marilyn. Yeah, Marilyn, what's up, girl? Nice. Paula, Edlin, Donna, Damian, Jillian, And let me see who else I'm seeing there. Come on, man. Yeah, you're blocking the thing here. You're blocking the program. No, Keisha. No, okay, what's up? Jen. I'm Diamond. Let me see. I'm seeing Dana. Good night to all of you there on the Facebook and over on YouTube. Let me see who's there. Oh gosh, I wonder if I could go through that lesson time. Kathleen, Wilma, Christine, Dennis, Norma, Faithlyn, Ann, Jillian, Sherma, we had a talk. Nice. Deborah, Listra, Errol, Jillian, Deborah. That's another Deborah? Same Deborah? No, that's the same Deborah. Nice. Manda, Anne-Marie. Let me see. Clive, Joyce, Baby Daddy. What's up? Elon, Oswald, Henry, Kester. Hey, Mr. Watts. Good night to you. Joyce, Gavin. Carl, what's up, bro? Lydon. Out there in Jamaica. Good night, bro. Jackie, Stanley, Margaret, Gloria. I'm seeing Hermina. I'm seeing Gemma, Stanley. I'm seeing Amanda. I'm seeing Yard Boy. Good night to all of you. Nice, yeah. Let's take the thing from the top again. Yeah, we're taking it from the top. Nice, beautiful.
This is not politics. Please don't forget. I'm just practicing to be a poet. Not qualified as yet, but have no fear. I'm gonna get there. I'm not in this.
Let me just let you all know from nowhere, I am considering a Friday night program. I am considering it. I think many of you have asked about it already. Many of you have been requesting it. I got so many messages and calls. What time the program starting when it was Friday night. I have a particular partner of mine. I know you're listening. Yeah, Saturday night, the man, they waiting for talking points. Come on. Last night he calling me asking me, hey, what time the program starting? Yeah. So I'm considering doing the Friday nights. Nice. I'm not saying we're doing it this week, but I'm considering, yeah? There are some logistics that would have to be put in place.
I am that I am. I am. I am. I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything. And for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science.
Yeah, just 8 minutes after the hour. 8 minutes.
Make sure everything is fine while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain. You now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe, and deception is a powerful.
Let me say a special good night to the folks there at the the Marketing and National Importing Board, yeah? We're gonna talk about Marketing Board a bit tonight, yeah, we need to do that.
Hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow.
Yeah, seeing my phone ringing. Yeah. You all have to message me, man. I can't take the call now, you know.
Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treated us so.
Torah, sorry about that, yeah? Nice. Oh yeah, so we passed the number. Here's what. I listened to the Prime Minister today speaking about the situation with the Marketing and National Importing Board. I heard what the Prime Minister had to say. They're roughly going to have to spend around $15 million, a little over $15 million. That Marketing Board's assets, as it is right now, is worth about 18 million, and that's inclusive of the properties and the vehicles and that sort of thing. And remember, the lending institutions, the banks already have a lien on these things. The creditors the main financial institutions like the banks and so on, they have a lien on those things. They can seize those things and so. So, as it is right now, 94 people will be going home. 94 people will be going home at the end of this month. I've heard the apologists of the National Democratic Congress. I've heard them all over the place trying to give excuses and saying, well, oh, it's just a rebranding of the Marketing and National Importing Board. I've heard some nonsensical, idiotic, and intellectually dishonest statements. Yeah, all I could remember all of that, right? Nice, right? Yeah. Intellectually dishonest statements. I'm saying that it's a simple rebranding. That in the same way that the Grenada Union of Teachers Credit Union just changed over to Nexus, and that the Public Workers Credit Union changed over to Ariza. It's the same thing that's happening with the Marketing and National Importing Board. Absolute, unequivocal nonsense and stupidness. Yeah, we make no apology for saying it as it is. Absolute, unequivocal nonsense and stupidness. Yeah, let's call it what it is. What is taking place with the Marketing and National Importing Board involves all of the staff going home. The organization is presently in a situation where they're owing, I think, to pay off the staff. I think I heard the Prime Minister mention a figure of around a little over $2 million. And then remember, there are many creditors. There are many creditors to the Marketing and National Importing Board. There are the suppliers, the people who do the pastries and the people who do the cocoa and the people who provide a lot of the stuff that when you go into Marketing Board, you buy. These people, some of them are owed monies when you check it out into 2022. And there are other people that they have monies that are owed for last month and so. In all that the Prime Minister said, and in all that the press spoke about there, well, they spoke about the farmers and this kind of thing. I did not hear a specific plan to pay these people, nor to pay the farmers who have been bringing their produce into the Marketing and National Importing Board. I heard the Prime Minister speak of taking the liability for the staff and the severance pay of the staff. Notice what he said. Severance pay of the staff that are working at the Marketing and National Importing Board. So when he's speaking about severance, it means that these individuals will no longer be employed as of the last day of this month. And there are several problems with that. Now, I think that in what they are doing, you need to consider that you're dealing with human beings, right? So while the staff heard this from the union representatives last week, I think it was Thursday or when, they heard that from their union representatives, and I think it's union misrepresentatives. I could tell you something. That union, if it was Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and or the new National Party in office now, and had proposed to do what was being done there, you would have seen that same union, because they two-tongue, and I have no apologies for saying it, they two-faced and they two-tongue. You would have seen that same union protesting in front of every Marketing Board facility. You would have seen them in River Road, you would have seen them on Young Street, you would have seen them down in the Excel Plaza, you would have seen them all over. You would have seen them protesting with a placard and everything, and encouraging the workers to come out and protest, if what is being done now had been done under the new National Party. But they're pretty on the path to appeasement right now. So the appeasement is that they go and they take whatever the government threw at them and decide we're taking that. Have they argued on behalf of the workers? Because here's the situation with some of the workers there. Now the government is going to pay severance and so on to the workers, their last month's salary and their severance and so. Supposing, and I'm saying supposing here, but there are actually people who are working in that 94 people. There are people that are working in the Marketing and National Importing Board that are in the situation I'm about to speak about now, that owe the bank more money than they are going to be getting as severance. And not one, not two, not three, not four. If the union really cared about these people, they'd know about this. Now, these people, all of these people, are going to end up in a situation that, one, when they do get the severance, the bank or the credit union lending institution that they owe is going to end up with the entire thing. So they ended up basically with zero. Because if you owe the bank, let's say 40,000 or 50,000, and you are getting severance at 20,000 or 30,000, I'm just calling figures here, it could be less. When they do get that severance, the bank or the credit union, according to the rules when you take the loan, has to be paid that directly, not the individual. You're not giving that individual the money according to when you're lending from these institutions. Yeah, they have particular clauses in situations like this where that money has to be forwarded to them. So the accounts department has to forward that money directly to the bank or the lending institution, which means in many instances, the people who are leaving that job are going to end up without a cent to their name because they are now unemployed. They can't make a payment to a bank or a lending institution next month because they're unemployed. One or two may be lucky. They might find a job. And the Prime Minister is speaking about sometime by September or so to have a public-private partnership. Come on, Mr. Prime Minister, be honest with the Grenadian people. All you already know who all you're handing over marketing board to. We know it. You all know it. That you all already have the investor. That you would not have taken that decision at this point in time unless you all already knew who you are going to be handing the Marketing and National Importing Board and all its assets over to. Yeah? You all just had the consultation to say you had a consultation, you know. Even before the consultation, you all knew what you were going to do with the Marketing and National Importing Board already. You had the consultation just to be able to say, well, we had a consultation and what we are doing was based on the consultation. That is the case. Yeah? That is what is happening. So we know that you all already had people line up. We know that. So now 94 people going home. Yeah? 94. We ain't reached the farmers. We ain't reached the agro-processors yet. We're speaking about the 94 that are employed. Well, at least for the next week and some, or 2 weeks or so, that are employed. That's the drivers, the people working in the warehouses, the people working administrative, the cashiers. All of these people, yeah, are unemployed as of the last day of this month. So remember, this is the record of the NDC so far. After they send home 88 people in St. Andrew Southeast alone. Somewhere here I have a list of how much they send home in Carriacou. To go over that list in a while. I have the names of everybody they send home in these places too. Yeah, now we have 94 going home at Marketing and National Importing Board. Now gauge that against the first 7 months of the new National Party back in 2013. By this point in time, we had about 3,000 young people engaged under the Imani program. Plus, you had many other people engaged under various programs. And we did not close down the Grenada Youth Upliftment Program. We allowed people to complete their time. Some people didn't even bother to complete their time. They just switched over from that into the Imani program. So the record is clear. They have not been creating any employment since they have come in. They have not instituted a single employment program. You look at the state boards and who they put on the state boards. The same party that came to you, the same party that came to you and spoke to you, right? And spoke to you about every state board should have a young person on it. Watch the makeup of those boards right now. If it's not a party hack at the National Democratic Congress, it's some person over the age of 60. Watch the boards. Look at the makeup of the boards. I was looking at something where they had training for the state boards. So the board of directors are different government agencies, and so they had training for them and that sort of thing. And when you see some of the people, you realize these are retired people. You realize these are people that retired and gone about their business already, that they have brought in now to go and manage these boards, and they're still doing training with them. Yeah? That is the situation that we find ourselves in this country right now. 94 people going home at the end of this month. And I see one of my commenters here is saying that the bank will give a grace period. Yeah. But how long will the grace period be for? Has the government spoken to these institutions? These are the kind of questions I wanted coming out from the media. Considering the situation that I pointed out just now, you owing the bank or the credit union 50,000 or 60,000 or even 100,000, and you only be getting a payoff of 20,000 that has to go directly to that institution. Has the government spoken to these institutions on behalf of these workers who have their mortgages and have their loans and so on, are indebted to these institutions? Have they negotiated with them to try and have a little ease up on these people? And then remember, when the quote unquote new, and we'll get to that, when the quote unquote new organization comes into being, none of the people who are working now with the Marketing and National Importing Board are sure that they would get the opportunity to work there. Because if you listen carefully to the Prime Minister, it's not a surety that these individuals will automatically get a job. What do they do between now and September when the new organization starts? And again, I say new because I'll explain that in a while. When the new organization starts, there's a process, you know. The Marketing and National Importing Board cannot just simply be shut down by the government of Grenada. You all know that, right? Because it was created through an act of parliament, and therefore, to really and truly close the Marketing and National Importing Board, they must go back to Parliament and repeal the act that created the Marketing and National Importing Board. It was created by an act of Parliament. So they can't just simply say we're shutting it down and shut it down, you know. So the first stage, because they said that they're going to repeal that act, they're going to repeal it sometime in September when they're about to start the new public-private partnership. And I don't think many of us will be surprised to see who some of the people in the public-private partnership are, would we? I don't think many of us are going to be surprised. I don't see them having the ability to surprise anyone, particularly those of you who we know are very intelligent and listening to this program tonight. We know they are not going to be surprising any of you with who the government partners with for the Marketing and National Importing Board. Let me ask a question. Did they consider, for instance, I've often looked at the police canteen and the model of the police canteen. And couldn't the public workers be afforded a similar model to the police canteen through the Marketing and National Importing Board? So while the Marketing and National Importing Board focuses on all the different areas that they've been speaking about, that they're going to deal with getting the fruits from the farmers, and they're going to freeze it, and they're going to dry it, and they're going to work along with the agro-processors. So the thing would be that all the farmers, you would tell them that, hey, this is what we really need, this is what's selling, and they're going to bring it into the Marketing and National Importing Board, and they are going to take it and help them to produce and work along with all the producers, and so the producers don't have to deal directly with farmers. They could deal with the Marketing and National Importing Board. Lovely. That's what was being said from since the revolution days. No problem. But you have a public service of several thousands of people. And if they can be afforded a system similar to what obtains with the Royal Grenada Police Force and the canteen, where they could go and they can get their stuff in the middle of the month, that you know you run short on some items and you could go and you could get it there, and then it is removed. The money that you're going to pay for that comes out of your following salary and that sort of thing. That's one model. And it doesn't take away from the major chains like the Huggins or the Hubbards or the Andals, because they are the ones that bring in the same items that would be sold. They are the same ones that bring in the item and just gain them another market for the same items. It's just that they're not going into there facility to buy those items, but they'll still go and buy when the time comes. But operating a similar model to what is used by the police, operating a similar model for the public workers. In the ministerial complex, you're talking hundreds of people already. Much less if you incorporate teachers and all the other people into such a mechanism. That immediately provides millions of dollars that could be coming into the Marketing and National Importing Board, or whatever they're going to call it, on a monthly basis. They ain't consider things like that. They just close it down. Public-private partnership. All you know, all you already had, all you already had the people line up already to take over the Marketing and National Importing Board. There is no search going on. You all already know who you bring in. You all already know who you bring in. You all already know what you're going to do when it comes to sugar. So don't give the impression that this is something that all you don't know all you're doing, and all you're looking to see, and all you're thinking about this, and all you're thinking about that. No. You already know who you are going to engage in this thing. And I was just using one example of one way that you could have increased the volume of sales through the Marketing and National Importing Board. Because, for instance, a worker at, let's say, a health facility, that they know that they can shop at the Marketing and National Importing Board, not have to pay exactly at this end of the month, but that it comes out from the following salary and so, the following month's salary. That's an immediate market there. It works along the same lines as them speaking about paying on a fortnightly basis. But they ain't thinking about that because they already had people set up to take over the whole thing. So those kind of considerations wouldn't play on their minds. And then you have the agro-processors. So this and the other people who do the things like sometimes you go to Marketing and National Importing Board, you might see things like pastries, you might see things like cocoa balls, you might see things like spices, you might see other things that are on sale that are produced locally and sold through the Marketing and National Importing Board. I heard not a word, non-verbal adjective, descriptive of how they are going to pay these people at the end of this month or before the end of this month. What I heard is something about, oh, they're going to have discussions with the farmers and they're going to have discussions with these people. Yeah, but these people are having sleepless nights because they're wondering, hey, right now, I have $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 worth of goods at the Marketing and National Importing Board, and I do not yet know how I'm getting my money. I got bills to pay, but I don't know how I'm getting my money. So this is what many people are going through, in fact. And I know they're listening now. I know of one individual that had a blackout over the weekend. Blood pressure went right up. Right up. The blood pressure went up. When they're considering what has taken place with the Marketing and National Importing Board and the uncertainty of what the future holds for them, then they end up in hospital. In my view, hey, you should have go in hospital, eh? In my view, that is what you should have do. But this is what some people are going through right now when it comes to the Marketing and National Importing Board. But you see, research the word tokenism. What they did is tokenism. Yeah? They wanted to be able to say that they engage with the farmers and they engage with the producers and they engage with the staff and they engage with this and engage with that. All of that is just window dressing because they already knew from day one. If you listen to the Prime Minister during the campaign, if you listen to the Prime Minister in even his very first interview, on the day, that was taped the day before he swore in the cabinet, but the day before the cabinet was sworn in, it was aired the day the cabinet was sworn in. If you listen to those interviews, you would realize that these people from day one had the intention to do exactly what they do. Again, no one is saying Marketing and National Importing Board is perfect, you know. Nobody is saying it is perfect, or maybe you could talk in the past tense that it was perfect. What we are saying in that all considerations consider that you're dealing with 94 persons, with 94 families, because I don't think any of them married as far as I know to each other, but 94 persons with 94 families that you have created 94 headaches for. I don't think it's anybody that working at Marketing and National Importing Board that happy to be unemployed at the end of this month, whether they support the NDC or they support the NNP. And then there's the option, they say they're going to keep a little unit open. We told you guys what I was going and doing. Keep a few and then after a few months, close the whole thing down. We told you that. From the beginning of January when all these things start, we told you that is the direction that they're going. That what they're going to do is keep on a few people just to keep the basics running, and then they're going to close the whole thing down. You could go back over the talking points for the last month or so, and you would see that we said that because we knew that was the direction they were going already. They've already got their people lined up to deal with the sugar and to deal with the this and to deal with the that. So folks, what is taking place with the Marketing and National Importing Board is indeed unfortunate. It is a serious situation. We're hoping that the government at least speak to the lending institutions. I know many of the workers personally, and I know that many of them are indebted heavily to various lending institutions in Grenada. And that by the time they receive their severance, these people are going to be broke because the lending institution is going to take the severance along with the final salary. And these people, unless someone in good faith, that's what the union's supposed to be doing. Not bad talking the last government and bad talking everybody. That's what the union for that particular agency is supposed to be doing. Yeah? Negotiating in good faith on behalf of the workers. You don't even know what's taking place with the pension plan and the health plan and all these things. You're hearing all sorts of talk about these kind of things. What is taking place with that? Look at the interests of these people and also look at the farmers, because there are many farmers that, yeah, they got by what they sent to the Marketing and National Importing Board. That's what they got by with. So you need to speak to them. You need to interact with them. They said they spoke with them before and all kind of thing. But it's just really a sad, sad situation indeed, yeah? It is a sad, sad situation that we face right now.
So much people complaining about the government. I wonder why they're complaining when it's only 1 year they spent. They come in and complain to me, which I find strange, because the election victory, majority voted for change. So then I start to wonder, what is some of them seen? Why complain to this fella when they know my color is green? It seems like they don't have patience.
And woe be unto you when you come and you talk about this and you give alternatives or you say anything sensible, you know. Because the goon squad does want to jump down your throat. All of a sudden you have no right to say anything, or you shouldn't say anything, or you shouldn't speak, and you need to hush your mouth, and who is you to talk, and all kind of thing, and you had the opportunity. And so you think that matters to these people right now that going home by the end of the month? All they know is the last administration, at least they were still employed. This one continues the only successful project of the National Democratic Congress, the Send Home program. 94 more sent home.
Promise in the head, if they only vote for you, pension will be 400. So much seniors they turn out to give you their support. Right now some of them hand to mouth because you lock the throat. $50 you increase, that's not what you promise. And if they have children overseas, you remove the name from the list. Don't blame me, don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you want it.
Folks, and I'm going to leave the phone lines open for the entire program. You can call whenever, 440-7377. You can call us on WhatsApp, or you can call us directly using that number.
Don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you want it to see.
35 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock.
Don't complain to me.
Yeah, so have some care and concern for human beings. Remember, these are human beings that you're dealing with, eh?
If they only give you a chance, you'll do some improving. You went out.
The only successful program of the National Democratic Congress implemented since the 23rd of June, the Send Home program.
Now you're from the government.
Yeah, that's a homegrown program. The homegrown Send Home program.
Now you're getting a cent. 7 months now they gone home. You leaving them to roam.
You go see some of them, they're going to call the radio in the morning and say all kind of thing about we talking about this and we talking about that and who is we to talk and all kind of thing. Meanwhile, some of them calling son sitting on 4 different boards or directors. Some of them calling Shaggy in the morning. Their son holding high position within the National Democratic Congress, sitting on 4 boards. Right now, the money tick, 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 tick. So they don't care about people. They don't care that it have people that lose their 150. They don't care nothing about these people and them. All they know is the son updating, man. So call the program and show word for people.
Just take it easily.
The bread and butter, you know, the bread peanut butter. And in fact, they put peanut butter on cake. I know that does taste, but they put peanut butter on cake.
Always have a plan. If you listen to my songs and what I just tell people.
We have a call online.
Another one will open. Don't blame me. Don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you wanted to see.
All right, let's try. Good night. You're very, very low. For some reason, I don't know why. And if I could barely hear you, the listeners are hearing nothing.
And the phone right in the ears?
It's not a matter of the ears, you know. You have to put it in your mouth. Talk to us.
Yes, I know. It's right in the ears in my mouth.
Have the volume right up. But go ahead.
Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, before I see what I have to say, I just want to continue promoting the Breakfast Festival and for Friday the 17th. And they have good starting time 11 o'clock. So we're asking every one of us to come out in our large numbers, come and support Victoria Breakfast Festival. Yeah. Shellen, they at it again. You send home how many people again for marketing board. But Shellen, what I'm hearing over the weekend again, more taps and more markup taking place. I hear man paying man pension, who getting how much, and they have to, and government calling them back to tell them pay back. So I don't know what is going on in this country, boy. I want to hear your take on that, if that is true, because I hear it over the weekend. I hear constable getting more money than a sergeant who worked 20-something years, getting more money than those who work 40-something years. And it's what is all kind of ding-dong story you're hearing. So I want to hear your take on it. I'll lie down in my bed and listening to it.
All right, my brother. Yeah, what I'll say in relation to that is simply this. The information that I've received is that the government of Grenada, in paying the pensions to initially it was 300 plus people. In total, it should be a little over 500 that they've got to pay the pensions to, that they have overpaid several people. I've heard that some police officers and some nurses, other people within the Ministry of Health, which are the 2 main areas that people, together with the Ministry of Education, those are the 3 areas that a lot of people received their pension payments through. Now, what I'm hearing is that there has been a situation where some people have received more money than they ought to have received, that they have been contacted by the Ministry of Finance to repay those funds. That is what I have heard. We have a call online. Oh, yeah, let me just make sure. Hello? Okay. Yeah, I realized my thing switched here and it kind of, yeah, let me just make sure I had the right thing now. Nice. 4407-377. Yeah. So I've heard that. Now, while the marketing board press conference was going on, my phone started going off every 2 minutes. Somebody calling and say, well, the Prime Minister said that is a lie. And the Prime Minister never says a lie. Listen when people talk. He was asked the question about that situation, that the journalist had heard that there are several people who have been asked to repay various sums of money to the government of Grenada because they have been overpaid. In other words, the calculation of their pension was wrong. Whether by the pension secretariat or whether by the Ministry of Finance, whichever one, that the calculation of their pension was wrong. So you had some situations, this is what I've heard, some situations of people. For instance, you might have somebody who retired as a sergeant. Yeah, and that person retired after, let's say, 35 years. And you have someone who retired after, let's say, they retired at 28 years. And the person who retired at 28 years as a sergeant, same as the other person, got more money than the person who spent longer in the service, which should be wrong. So I have been hearing that. Let me just take that call. Good night. Ah, boy, for some reason, all the calls are very low. Go ahead, caller.
Oh, the weekend.
Well, it's quite fine.
Okay. So now I just want to what I observed today. You know, we come to, like upgraded come like the laughing stock right now.
It come like?
We come back to the laughing stock.
How come?
How come?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go ahead.
Go right ahead. Who acting as prime minister when the prime minister got from tomorrow?
I think it's the Honorable Andy Williams.
Okay, thank you. and nothing much to say.
All right, caller.
Okay, all right, later. I want to put you in trouble.
Man, I do a good enough job of putting myself in trouble. I ain't afraid of somebody else put me in trouble. You could talk, man. It's not a problem. Yeah. So notice what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister never said it was a lie. He never said it was untrue. The Prime Minister said when asked the question, first time he hearing that he don't know. He have to talk to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance to find out if it is true. I ain't to believe the Prime Minister, but that is what he said. But of course, the minions out there have to grab what he say and go out and say, well, the Prime Minister says a lie. He never said that. I just didn't have enough time to grab the audio for tonight, but he never said it was a lie. He said he don't know. And let me use an example here. Remember, a few weeks ago, a journalist asked him about contracts passing through constituency office, and he said, well, he's perplexed. You see the perplexed look on all of us faces? We don't know what you're talking about. But you know it was happening. We have a caller. Good night. Hello?
Is this Sheldon Douglas?
No, there's Sheldon Scott, but you're live.
Okay, Sheldon Scott. Sorry. Made a mistake. I said Douglas, but anyhow.
Yeah.
I was listening to your program a little while ago, and it appears to me that some people got a lot of money that they would have to repay. And in my own knowledge, my legal economy, and how people are supposed to operate, if it was the previous government that was in power, people would have blazed them left, right, and center for doing wrong. Now you overpay people and you're asking them to refund money that they was paid. Come on. People, we do make mistakes, I know that. But as a prime minister, you have to accept the blame for making those kind of mistakes. And this is not what I am thinking of. I am thinking that is a blatant disrespect to people, to show that your government is so transparent and accountable to the Grenadian public, and you're making that kind of simple mistakes. Now, you had a government that put a secretariat in place, and as a result of that, you have these people telling us that they want to pay the pension within 2-3 months or 4 months within they appear in government. You don't know a lot of mistakes you're buffering or you're hustling your workers to pay the pension. Some people who work for 28 years get $100 and something $1,000, and some people who work for 44 years or 34 years or 38 years getting $70,000 and $60,000? Come on. This is not an issue that we have to take lightly. We have to make them know that accountability is what we require. You start with a lie, you continue to tell people a lie, you're going to pay pension, but this is what you're making. This is the kind of mistake you're making. I am asking for the newly elected government and Prime Minister or Minister of Finance. Sorry for saying it on your program, Mr. Sheldon. I am asking him to resign and let somebody else take the portfolio so that the transparency and the accountability of Grenadian people have to make sure that we have accountable personnel, responsible personnel who can govern Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. This is what I want. And I'm not making no joke with that. People could say what they want. But that is a blatant disrespect to our country as a Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. You cannot make those simple mistakes. Every financial check that has to be signed has to sign by the Minister of Finance. And you have a secretariat that making that kind of mistake.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Hold on. I want to be clear here. The Minister of Finance does not sign checks. I don't want any information that people could come and say, I stand up here and it's wrong and it go out. I don't want a situation where somebody say something wrong go out. The Minister of Finance doesn't sign any checks. No government minister signs a check. They give the authorization. The permanent secretary within the Ministry of Finance then does what they have to do along with the financial officer. So just to be clear on that, I don't want wrong information going out. Yeah. No minister signs a check. Yeah. Okay. But go ahead. Yeah.
But we have people, we must have responsible people.
Well, they've got advisors. According to a friend of mine, it seems as though we have a problem with mathematics.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't talk about mathematics. There is a lot of people. There is a lot of people who are qualified for it mathematically, but they cannot count finances. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to go in that respect. But I am saying to you and to your program, people, yeah. I think we should get a better explanation, and that is what I want to hear from the Prime Minister of our country, who is the leader or the finance minister of our country. We have met over $530 million in our revenue day. Please give us an account of how those monies were spent. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheldon.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Let me just check my audio here, because I find my audio kind of one side high, next side low, that kind of thing. That's happen every time you step out for the weekend and so on. You think, yeah, that's the first night does be kind of thing. All right, so let me just check my audio here. Let me see. Right. Let me play a little song and see how I could check my audio here. Nice.
I say to the PM, sir, I know you don't know, but some of the government playing real logaroo. democracy that's sucking the country dry. Listen to the PM, this was his reply. Mr. PM, how this speaker so? Mr. PM, the house is a coffee show. Mr. PM, what's his intention? Mr. PM, he don't want opposition.
Yeah, well, right now it seems as though the PM don't know, eh? And imagine this. It was not a situation. Let me make this clear to all of you that viewed that press conference. It was not a situation that the Prime Minister had to make a phone call, send an email or a WhatsApp to ask the Permanent Secretary if what the journalist was asking was true, you know. Because the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Finance was sitting in the same room. So you couldn't ask him right there and then in front of the journalist if that is so. That alone should tell you all. Understand, the individual is a lawyer, eh? So they had to learn how to, kind of twist things and sometimes tell you a blatant untruth. Because they are a lawyer. And as they say, there was a very good lawyer. Right? And they're going to use all the expertise in the present portfolio that they hold. So they did not say that, hey, what the journalist is asking is untrue. They didn't say that. They didn't say that how people lying. They didn't say that. With the Permanent Secretary sitting right there, he said he had to ask the Permanent Secretary. And I bet you, in the same way, that Prime Minister and that government has never come back to you to admit that the question that was asked by a journalist a few weeks ago in relation to contracts being offered and you had to go to a constituency office to deal with a contract. In the same way that they have not come back to you on that, don't expect them to come back to you on this one. Eh? Don't expect it. We have a caller. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Good night, Cammy. How are you?
Not too bad. And good night to the Grenadian people who's listening home and abroad. Yeah. But I sit here listening to you. Well, as the last caller, Mr. Scott, say about the Prime Minister to sign check. No. The Permanent Secretary and in different office in the Ministry of Finance, they will have people there that they give the right to sign checks or whatever if you have to get money there.
Yeah.
Michael Sylvester is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance. If Mr. Sylvester is not in office, they have somebody to hold his place till he come back to work. Okay? Because I was the caretaker there for years. In the time Mr. Wilson was Permanent Secretary. When Mr. Wilson was there, they have other people there that will sign the claims or your check to get your money. But Mr. Sylvester himself, the journalist, asked the Prime Minister, Dick Mitchell, if he had asked him, he would have answered. He would not answer now. He would not answer in that press conference. You mad? You want to send him on somewhere else to work? He could answer that, Mr. Scott. No. There is people that call that man program yesterday that get the letter from the Ministry of Finance telling them they have to pay back the money because two retirees, I can't call where they was working because they might suspect who it is. Calling and saying when they get this letter stating that they have to pay back money that they give them too much money. But you have some people that say it's propaganda because you know why? They just shame. They feel shame. Just like some of the people that call Shaggy radio station in the morning. They won't tell the public, well, my son or my daughter sitting on 3, 4, 5 different boards. They find fault with everybody that call and make a contribution. They will tell the nation what they was and this and that and the other. You understand? I never hear one morning they say, well, despite what happened, I've been started for the people that have to go they're doing wrong is for Grenada. They just know because things for them nice. Because if my child has 4 different board and he come in with money, you could pay your water bill, you could pay your light bill, you could eat good. Or what think about the other people that can eat and pay their water bill and have headache? A bunch of hypocrites. And the same as people that, Lord, let me ask you more, yeah? Because I know we don't take it. I was getting that all right to see. You understand? We must have sympathy for people. We must have sympathy for people because you don't know, Mr. Scott, what tomorrow brings.
I don't know.
Could go to work tomorrow, and they tell him they don't want him on that board again. Anytime. I know all you bright. I don't go to no school. I get my school on the street, in the ghetto. You can go to work tomorrow, and you get a letter telling you, I don't need you on that board. How you going to feel? How you going to feel, Mr. and lady? How you going to feel? We must have sympathy for people. Because you don't know what tomorrow will bring. You don't know. Are you rejoicing now? Kid Michelle do this, Kid Michelle do that, and that Kid Michelle. They owe us money in marketing board. How you know that? Because people go get that too. How you know that? And then I run to church yesterday and pray, and I praying for him. You know, I don't understand all the Grenada. I was telling people them out on the ground, and the same people that used to get the $450 for the parents. You understand? You have to have sympathy for poor people because you are the damn poor man and a poor woman too. Before microwave and stove was said we used to use. Or they must think about people and have love. Despite marketing, NNP do this and do that. That is in the past. We need future now. Somebody take over, try and do better. To help people. You could have all the money in the world, Mr. Scott. And you have all the properties. And you bank in your money outside. You never know sickness. Something happen. You can't even spend your own money, you know. Somebody will spend it for you. Somebody will spend it for you. So you get on. Asking Papa God to keep me around. And let me have me good ears to hear and me eyesight to see some of y'all that jumping up today. Jumping and getting on. Because we in charge. We in charge. Let me tell you something before I put on my phone. I know God is in charge, Almighty God. I was calling Papa God. He in charge, eh? He in charge. Get that in your head tonight. Have a good night, Mr. Scott.
All right, Gabby.
Good night, wherever you all is. And Patty and anybody who's listening. Good night. And Mr. Scott, the young man and his wife came and collect the money.
Good.
This afternoon.
Yes. He has to rest tonight because he has to go for 6 a.m.
They came and they collect the money.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
And they must make a thing to the people that doing what they have to do for them. Anyhow, have a good night.
He's going to call tomorrow night because tonight he has to rest early because he has to go for 6 a.m.
All right. I'm just saying because you have people that say, you know, you tell me I'm not the one should be calling them and thanking them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. They'll call. All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Stop this thing. Because if it's table done, a lot of you are not able to call no radio station. I got poor man, I don't. I didn't go to school, but I have a little business on my own. Have a good night.
All right, Cami. Yes, indeed. And we have a caller on the WhatsApp. Let me just get the call on the WhatsApp. Good night.
Hey, Brother Sheldon, good night.
Hey, good night. How you doing?
I'm okay, man, okay.
All right, go right ahead.
Brother Sheldon, you know, in 1919 to 95, there was a prime minister that everything they asked him, he say he don't know. He don't know enforce any of that.
It seems as though we're going back to that because when it came to MP Ron, what's his name again? Ron Redhead. When it came to him, saying check the constituency office in relation to contracts, the Prime Minister stand up and tell the journalists he ain't know nothing about that. I don't know. You know, we end up with a second case of I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know again. Because when you check it in with like with the money thing, with extra money or given to the pension retirees, right? The easy part and in the minister, the permanent secretary was in the press briefing.
He was sitting right there.
Right
He could
there,
have
aside,
easily asked the permanent secretary what,
ask the pastor.
and I know for a fact that the permanent secretary was aware of those
Yeah.
statements being made outside there, which means that the permanent secretary did not have enough wherewithal to inform the Minister of Finance that is going on a live press conference that such an issue is being circulated around the country. And I know that the permanent secretary listens to this program.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
know
And
that
do
he
believe
listens religiously to this program.
And I do believe permanent secretary told the prime minister about it.
Well, even that,
In Minister of Finance.
the prime minister has a press secretary. The press secretary is supposed to be aware of issues that are going on around the country and things that are topical, and be able
exactly.
to brief the prime minister before he puts himself in front of the nation, and only have to be coming saying, I don't know,
I don't know.
and end up eating his words. Just remember what I say, and end up eating his words. All right.
And very sure, sometimes I ask myself the question, right? Like if we sometimes we don't forget what's going on, we don't remember, and they say someone that people that forget quickly and they remember, they will continue making the same mistake, right? And at time, I do believe time for we Iranians to know our history, know what gone, what in our country, and when people come and they lie to us, we should also like it's like you are YouTube, right? You always go back and look back to see what was said to us in previous election. We could go back and like the father, the children, like the children nurse the milk from the parents, they nurse the milk from the parents. So it's the same lie they lie again to get in, and the same lie they continue to lie, and supporters defending the lies and the propaganda, making feel know that they will be successful with that. What I say, when you lie for people, you will fear one day the truth will cut up with you, right? So then I actually call upon the Grenadian people. You speak out and let these people of Grenada and Grenada of Pity, not Caricon Pity, no Pity Matic and Grenada and Caricon Grenada, Grenada Caricon Pity Matic. Let the people's voice be heard, and let we speak out for the less fortunate, and let the people know that there is someone they could have hope, a party they could have hope on, which is the NMP party. They will speak out in opposition. They will speak out in government. They will stand and speak out for and defend the less fortunate, because the NMP is a party that cares and loves people. It cares about the poor. It cares about everyone in the country. I so much have a blessing.
All right. Thank you so very much, caller. Yeah, somebody said touch the thing again. Yeah.
PM, sir, I know you don't know, but some of the government playing real logaroo. They're killing democracy, they're sucking the country dry. Listen to the PM, this was his reply. Mr. PM, how this speaker so? Mr. PM, the house is a papi show. Mr. PM, what's his intention? Mr. PM, he don't want opposition.
Four 4407377. Yeah. So all of us say he don't know. All right. Okay, Mr. PM. All right. Believe me, you all ain't hearing that again unless somebody in the media try to bring it up again. Yeah? Unless you hear somebody in the media try, they ain't coming back to you. In the same way, they ain't come back to you and tell you that yes, it was true that Ron Redhead was telling people check his office in relation to contracts, his constituency office. In the same way, they never come back and admit that to you. Don't hold your breath waiting for them to come back and talk about this one, and you might drop down. Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Selling TV and you contemplating selling electricity. Mr. PM, accountability. Mr. PM, that must be the key.
We've got a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, Duncan here.
Yes, sir.
Sheldon, today I passed with a sales truck. I was doing some sales and stuff. While going to Willis, we had some confrontation with a lady. Well, I was strong in NP, as everybody know. I always see me banner in my hand. And she jumped up and we were saying about all you're dead, all you're coming back in power. And then I turned to her and I say, hey, I say, look, listen to me. I said, I heard that on Real FM that they were saying that the police had us to return some money which they pay some pensioners. And she said, you lie. They can come on the radio and say that's not true. And I heard you saying tonight, because I didn't listen to Deacon. But what you saying tonight now, that is not true. Deacon never say it's not true. So I want to ask myself the question, why people tell so much of lies?
My brother,
they are telling so many lies?
What I want you to do, don't take my word for it. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. Go back, listen to what the Prime Minister said, and you for yourself will hear that he never said that it's not true. He says he don't know, he's going to have to ask the permanent secretary. He never said it's not true.
Sheldon, these people and them, they took watch. Well, Baba Bonis are going on this country.
That is the second time I hear that word in the last few weeks.
Sheldon, I heard a lady one ago said that just when I was listening to you, and the lady said it's time for them to go, and I believe that, the people should resign and go, get out of there. They're doing too much stupidness. And so they lying. We can't take on this. You can't believe nothing these people telling you, Sheldon.
My brother, you know what? I've heard that a cabinet reshuffle is coming, eh? I've heard that a cabinet reshuffle is coming. Okay.
Today, some NDC men told me. Some of them tell me, well, yes, that's true, you know. They're asking some of the men, why some denying it, you know? That they're asking some people to give back the money.
My brother, the Prime Minister was very careful what he say, eh? He never says not true. He never says a lie. He says he doesn't know, he hasn't heard that first time he's hearing that. And if it's the first time he's hearing it, if he was really talking the truth, it means that both his permanent secretary and his press secretary are incompetent. Because that issue has been very topical over the weekend, from Saturday night into yesterday and into this morning. That has been even more topical than Marketing and National Importing Board, if you pay attention to social media and in various talking circles. So for the Prime Minister to be exposed to the general public and have to say that he doesn't know, or that's the first time he's hearing that, means either his permanent secretary, his press secretary, or both are incompetent, or the Prime Minister lying. One or the other. No other way to describe it. All right, my brother.
Yeah, man. Have a good night, man.
All right. Blessings. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. All right. And there's so many things that I have to speak about tonight, you know. So many things I have to speak about tonight. It's now 9 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. So many things. Darren, good night to you and Sue. And the answer to that is no. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, we have a call online. Good night.
Sheldon.
Hey.
I just called back to tell you something, eh? To say something to the nation. I remember Mr. Scott, when they're talking about check. There was a time I used to get, when I was working in finance, I used to get my money for going home, right? And when I go to get a check, one signature, they put on the check for me. That was my money I get in to go.
Yeah.
Right? When I go in the bank, they tell me go back to the ministry and get the other person to put the other signature. I run back there. And I go in the church and I start to jump up in the back there because I used to work there. And for me to get that money, I start to make noise. And one of the man in the treasury, I will not call his name, he put his signature, I grab the check, I said, give me that money. And I run and I go in the penny bank and get my check change. You hear?
Yeah.
So I don't understand what
No, but what
You understand?
I just mentioned it. I just mentioned it because I just didn't want wrong
So I don't
information to go.
understand.
Let's not focus on
So
that. Let's not make that
the blame has to
a
be
issue.
on the people inside Ministry of Finance.
But the
That make
authorization.
the error, them is bright people. Them that make the error, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
All right,
when them people saying it's not true, and the information, one of the ladies that called yesterday on program, she said the Ministry of Finance sent a letter and tell her she had to pay back. So if that lady is listening tonight, she could publicly the letter that she had to pay back that money.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Yami,
Yeah.
we're gonna take
Yes.
we're gonna take a call from you later on. Somebody else is trying to
All
get
right.
through. All right, nice. Yes, indeed, folks. And yeah, let's see. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, man.
All right, you go right ahead. You're live.
Listen, I hearing something that I refuse to believe that, I don't know who is who in this time because I hearing something about some finance and he's like, understand the Prime Minister say you don't know about it? Is it?
Well, he says that this is the first time he's hearing it. That's what he said. It's the first time he's hearing it.
But
He's unaware of that situation, in other words.
so that if it's first time he's hearing it, then he's not in control.
Well, I'm saying that it is either his permanent secretary and his press secretary are incompetent or he's lying. It's one or the
But
other.
I feel somebody working against a man, boy.
Well, I have said
feel
before, on several occasions, the Prime Minister need to check his circles.
But
He
of
need to
course.
look at who are around him.
Yes.
All right. If
That
he,
man, no, he can't trust these people. Somebody trying to something make the man look bad. I'm not speaking in his favor, but I know he doesn't speak the truth. But at the end of the day, we want to know what we need some clarity on that matter, Sheldon. Because he's something to really and truly like a baboon kind of thing, a monkey business, I find it's something too stupid. I mean, a Prime Minister, this thing going on, so much money pay out, and now you're calling back for it, and now you're still saying you don't know.
and here's what,
Something wrong, man.
even if it wasn't true, but it's topical in the country, he ought to know. His permanent
yes,
secretary
no.
knows, and he knew that that is an issue since on Saturday.
He's in charge.
His press secretary ought to know if they're in contact with the people around the country. If they're in contact with what's going on, they're supposed to know. The Prime Minister need to look at who are around him.
That the man making people laugh at me. I remember in 2008, a Vinci take my vehicle, and the Vinci asked me, what kind of stupid Prime Minister we have in this country?
We ain't tolerating them with that.
What going on outside it?
They can't come and bad talk me Prime Minister. Right.
But they
We
can't
could talk, we
promise
Grenadian,
Prime
but
Minister look
nobody
fresh.
else can come and say nothing.
Oh, you look fresh. Nobody can back talk Kid because Kid is the boss. Handsomely. Kid is the boss, and Kid prove he is the boss. But, I mean, any other Prime Minister, they look for the bad talk because they're doing it right. But, Sheldon, what I'm asking, we need some more clarity on this thing. This thing's something too stupid. So, as time goes on, you could bring us some information whereby we could understand it better. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Have a
my
good night,
brother.
and Continue the good work, man. I look out for you every night.
Yes,
From
indeed.
Monday to Thursday.
Thank you, my brother.
Blessings, man.
All right, great.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, if you see me on See Me, if all you see me on See Me, all you want me to understand, no comment. No comment. All you want me talk about what you call it, no comment. All you want me say something about what you call it, no comment. In the land of spice, we country
Your aunt
nice.
was fired a few days shortly after an incident at a funeral in Karakou where you were not treated very nicely by the mourning parents. Your aunt was there, the same aunt who was transferred and who's in the middle of how all this started, was fired shortly after. What is the relationship between her firing and that incident at the funeral in Karakou that day?
No comments.
Oh my God! No explanation at all. But she was fired.
No comment.
But you can confirm that she was fired.
No comments.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Why? You've been so forthcoming and open and answering all of my questions. You won't comment on this. You won't speak to the firing of your aunt.
Hey, what happened? No comments.
No, Olive, no comment. That's the kind of thing that we have going on. They come and they arrogant. Yeah, man, they big and they bad. They want to tell the journalists what they want to speak about. They don't want the journalists ask them questions. They just want to expound on all the things that they want to speak about and not answer simple questions. Hey, you fire your aunt? Yes, your aunt, as in your auntie. You fire her? No comment? You fire her because when you went in the house of mourning, an incident took place there and your aunt was around. Is that the reason you fire her? No comment. You can't simply say no. Why you can't say no? Why you can't say no to if you fire your aunt? Why you can't say, well, you say no, you know, no comment. Yeah? No comment. So you can't simply answer a question like that? I mean, Brother Tevin, what going on with you up there, boy? Eh? What going on with you? Boy, I tell you, if all you see me on see me, eh? Me, I don't taking part in that. Let the dollar come down. 4407377. I don't know.
Pockets are empty, the economy has plenty. Poverty is a shame, and that's no game. The treasury in surplus, but the people in minus. Man, a ball and hold them head.
So remember, this government in January, they floated a treasury bill on the regional exchange and they got 15 million. And now you're hearing that they need 15 million for the marketing and national. You know what's going on? Before they announced that they need 15 million for marketing and national importing board, while they were having consultations with people, they raised the 15 million already to dispose of the marketing and national importing board. All you really feel that they went in good faith and meet with farmers and producers and the general public to ask about marketing and national importing board?
Never truly cater for them in that strata, though some days you may hand them.
Imagine your auntie buy, but if I auntie buy,
Sustainability is the key.
No comment. That boots on the ground a hole underneath, boy. That yeah, you know, long time when you pour and thing and you have your boots and it's a hole underneath. You put a piece of cardboard between you put a piece of cardboard to kind of continue wearing the shoes and them. If you wasn't real poor, you know about them kind of thing, yeah? No comment. Those of us who grew up, yeah, we know about having a hole in your shoe and you put a piece of cardboard to kind of, yeah.
People have been treated.
Sometimes I'm hearing it from several police officers themselves, you know. So, I mean, I think the Prime Minister team need to be a little more in touch. Yeah, nice. 4407377. Or you could comment, or you could leave no comment to here, or you could comment. Papa, yo. Over the weekend, the Prime Minister went, I saw he went up to River Sally. And he went into the NNP heartland because remember, the people that was advising and things say that the Prime Minister need to go into certain areas and he need to go in here. So Prime Minister go take himself and go in Chocolate City. Hello? Prime Minister, you go up in St. Andrew Northeast and you will go in Chocolate City. All you go on the internet and watch the pictures. They playing dominoes is the four ministers. In other words, the people in the area you want to play dominoes with them. So the pictures they post is the Prime Minister and three IE ministers sit down. Well, two IE ministers and the candidate, the caretaker for that constituency, sitting there playing dominoes. They play until they play marble pitch and all. And in all of that, they didn't hear that how the talk is out there that people receive too much money in pension. They went and play marble pitch and all kind of thing. I mean, let me see. Last week, there was busting wood, they take wood and there was knocking wood in front of the complex. This week, there was playing marble pitch and that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's every week is something new. I know what next week might be hopscotch. Yeah, they might be playing hopscotch. All your hopscotch next week. That's where they're going and play. Or skipping rope.
Should leave poor and die poor. Nothing more.
Meanwhile, no comment. And if you see me, unsee me. Right.
We climb over. The system never truly cater for them in that strata. Though some days you may hand them $1.
So next week is probably hopscotch. Yeah.
That's the real thing. Sustainability is the key.
I know, but just the arrogance of the Member of Parliament for Carriacou and Petit Martinique in that interview speaks volumes of the individual and also speaks volumes about the organization that they are attached to. We have a caller online. Good night. Hello, good night, caller.
Good night. Good night.
Hi, good night. Go right ahead, caller.
Good night.
Yeah, you're pretty low for some reason. I don't know. Ah, boy.
Hear me better now?
Yeah, but you go ahead.
I don't know why I'm low. No, I'm if you don't mind, I make a comment. I see you are into no comments tonight.
No, you can comment.
Yes,
I just made out the
just want to
voice.
Make a comment on this. What was written up about
Hello?
regard to Cuban doctors on the island, because it is something that concerns me deeply when you can seek to run down a whole system and a whole group of people. No, I'm not first.
Hello? Hello? Oh boy, it seems as though that I just hello? Yeah, I think I've got you back now. Hello? Hello? Oh boy. Yeah, I think what has happened is that particular channel, yeah, I got to make a little shift. Yeah, only give me 1 minute. I'm going to have to make a little shift here because I realize what is taking place is that channel is giving a little problem, yeah?
Let the dollar come down to make the man on the ground. Him now face, him now and no from let the dollar come down to the unfortunate one. To beg no one, he does stretch no hands. Pockets are empty, the economy has plenty. Poverty is a shame and that's no game. The treasury in surplus, but the people in minus. Man a ball and hold them head cause them are counting red. Stuck with minimum wage.
Yeah, let me try now. Hello? 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 Oh boy, yeah, that phone line is giving some problems. Ah, goodness. Call me on WhatsApp. Yeah, give me a call on the WhatsApp.
Him now and no from let the dollar come down to the unfortunate one. To beg no one in the stretch. So them say we were born poor, should leave poor, and die poor. Nothing more. While the rich get rich, a tall fence, pitbull and cameras, desperate man still looks fi climb over. The system never truly cater for them in that strata. Though some days you may hand them $1. Check their standard of living, that's the real thing. Sustainability is the key. So let the dollar come down.
All right, I think I may have sorted out that problem on that line. Give me a call back, please. Yes.
To the unfortunate one, to beg no one. Projects of millions upon millions, hundreds of thousands, most of it stays in the hands of a
yeah, no comment. So I think I've got that problem sorted out. So either you all can call me on the WhatsApp or you all can call me directly using the same number.
That's the way for people have been treated.
Yeah, try nothing there. Just a fix for tonight only, and then I'll sort it out properly tomorrow.
To meet the man on the ground, him now screw face, him now and the from let the money come down to the unfortunate one.
Yeah, actually, I watch them. They gone up in Chocolate City, you know. Yes, they gone up in St. Andrew Northeast. They go right in Sister Skeeter nose. They went and they play marble pitch and all kind of thing. Up in St. Well, I want to say where little boys say up in St. Pat. Somebody sent it for me. They just know. I don't want to go and say what the little boys say. Yeah, I don't want to go and say that. Yeah, next thing I end up in trouble if I go and say that. Nice, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, I missed a call there. Nice. Let me try this over here. Yeah, I'm not sure what is happening here tonight, you know. Yeah, the phone line just decided it's giving some problems tonight. So I'm talking, I'm trying to sort it out at the same time. Yeah, I'm also hearing that Senator Sess, or Sespit, whatever you want to say. Yeah, but that senator, I'm hearing that they're no longer with Sess. I'm trying to find out the reason why, because I hear reasons, I hear any reasons why the senator is no longer attached to CES or CESPIT or recess or whatever you want to call it. But I'm hearing that the senator is no longer attached to it. So I really want to confirm that the senator is not there and why the senator is not there, because I'm hearing a lot of talk outside there. So I really want to hear exactly why the senator is no longer there. Right? Nice, yeah. Also, yeah, the Caribbean Development Bank is here. Yes, they are here for this week in Grenada, and they are doing an assessment of CES and various other programs. Yeah, they come in and look at CES or CESPIT. They come in and look at it, and they come in and find out how the money spent, what taking place in it, that kind of thing. Yeah, they come in and do an assessment. I'm very interested in hearing what they have to say at the end of that assessment. Yeah, I'm seeing the comment that one of the individuals here saying, yeah, I realize Calistro Faria is under fire. Yeah. All I have to say about that is no comment. Why? No comment. I said no comment. If you see me or unsee me, no comment. Right. So let the money come down to make the man on the ground. Him now face him now and let the money come down to the unfortunate one. To beg no one him not stretch. So let the money come down to make the man on the ground. Him now face him now and let the money come down to the unfortunate one. To beg no one. I'm really sorry that we've gotten into this kind of situation in our country at this point in time, because the reviews of Grenada over the years have been so high, and now we're seeing this sort of thing, and we're hearing this sort of thing about Grenada, and we're seeing this sort of buffoonery taking place on the national level. It's kind of embarrassing, huh? Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, right. You don't know. I mean, something like that. Your press secretary ought to know. That is what again apparently we're hearing allegedly $10,000 plus on a monthly basis for. They're supposed to know. If I know that, they're supposed to know, ain't it? Yeah, they're supposed to know. Yeah. So where Senator says or CESPIT? I don't know which one it is, CES or CESPIT. I don't know.
But until long as someone living in dark, you say you go bring illumination back. And when for some it was blood and tears, you presented yourself as the heart who cares. So with faith, they wait till it was July 8th. And with the ex, they give the heart the blessing. But now, some people vow that it seems as though the heart stopped beating. Some people believe that all you didn't have a heart from the start. But these people
yeah, I've seen Darren talking about the US. Some of them is press secretary, some of them is pressure secretary, you know, yeah. Yeah, some is press, some is pressure.
He said, man, you refuse to give the contract. But when all your campaign was in action,
I'm playing this one for a lady who said to unsee her.
And that the green he couldn't get a hold on. Yellowness was too vibrant and too strong. But the thing is they drag him in the dust. Now all you commit is even worse.
440737. Let's check that phone line again.
She used to buzz out the win, now she feels she lose. She house used to fool her yellow accessories. People used to say she have yellow disease. Now you take she pension and water, cause she have some son in Canada. Now when the mountain fall, she go in by the post office as usual. Cause she don't want green people know she ain't getting that money no more.
All I would say is that the people from the Caribbean Development Bank are here in Grenada, and that they will be taking a close look at the financials, etc. of the CES program they hear. I'm very interested in the report at the end. But here's what. there's a release on the New National Party, and I think that's what the caller was getting to. I was waiting for them to call back, but I'm not sure what is taking place. The phone line here seems to be giving a problem. You can call via WhatsApp, but the direct calls seem to be a problem. Now, it says the New National Party is extremely alarmed and dismayed by the recent attacks discrediting the performance of the Cuban doctors and other healthcare professionals. These health practitioners continue to serve the people of Grenada, especially the poor who do not have the financial resources to travel abroad for medical attention. What is even more alarming and should raise grave concerns among all Grenadians is the deafening silence of the present administration. From 1979 to this day, the government and people of Cuba have made tremendous sacrifices and the greatest contribution towards our national health care. While our healthcare system is not perfect and continues to be a work in progress, we must appreciate and applaud the efforts of Cuba. The World Health Organization, of which Grenada is a member, has constantly recognized Cuba as having the best healthcare system in the Western Hemisphere. When Cuba sends its professionals abroad, it sends the very best. Being human, not everyone will carry out their mandate, but we must never be ungrateful as a people and throw out the baby with the bathwater. Hundreds of Grenadians can attest to the medical care they have received from the Cuban doctors over the years, care that in most instances have saved their lives. Therefore, the New National Party condemns the disparaging attacks which discredit our own system and bring into disrepute a country like Cuba, which over the years has done so much for our country, having so little themselves. The leadership and members of the New National Party, as well as all Grenadians who wish to disassociate themselves with this violent evil attack, join to assure the government and people of Cuba that their contribution and sacrifice are appreciated and we are a grateful country. All right, so this is a release sent out by the New National Party today. Yeah, because I've been hearing things, you know. I've been hearing the present Minister of Health was invited to Cuba and so far has been refusing to go. Cuba sending doctors, they're sending nurses, they're sending medical care. But the Minister of Health, so far, they ain't even responding. The Cubans have been offering trip, come to Cuba, come and speak with us, come and see. You understand? Get to understand a little thing about going on over there, you understand? Maybe you might be able to get more cancer patients to go to Cuba for treatment. You never know, but instead of that, they just have not been responding. They have not been answering. In fact, I hear that the Cubans even did the ticket for the present Minister of Health, saying true, that a ticket was actually done for the Minister of Health to go Cuba and he never went. And then you have these sort of attacks taking place and this treatment. In fact, listen to the independence ceremony over again and tell me if they recognize the Cuban contingent that was there. I hear all kind of names. Maybe I missed it. Maybe my ears was not attuned properly. But I didn't hear recognition of the Cuban mission that was there. And that doesn't sit well with me. All right? I'm just saying that ain't sitting well with me. All right? Good. So that's a release that the New National Party has put out today. Well, you say no comment? Okay, no comment. Listen, there are many families here in Grenada that can tell you that the cancer treatment that is unavailable in Grenada and even in the Eastern Caribbean, that their family was able to secure that treatment in Cuba. I know of people that are alive right now. Because they were able to get the treatment in Cuba. They didn't spend a cent. And they were able to get top class treatment in Cuba that saved their lives. Yeah? So even if you don't like the Cuban system, right? Even if you don't like the Cuban system, I think we still have to be grateful to the Cuban people for their sacrifices to save lives here in Grenada and to help us here in Grenada. Yeah? Cuba has trained many medical professionals, and we're talking about from since 1979, 1980 to now, when the first set probably went in 1979 to now. they have trained many of our healthcare professionals. So we can't just treat them in that way, and we can't allow our government to treat them in that way that you're asking. You have to basically be begging your Minister of Health to go to a trip to Cuba. Come on, man. We have to do better than that. We must do better than that. We have a caller. Good night.
I just called to find out if you're hearing me, because you say the phone giving trouble. Are you hearing me clear?
I'm hearing you a little low, but I'm hearing you, yeah. So it seems that the line is working. Yeah.
But that mean the line working, man. Good night.
No, there's a problem on it. There's a problem on it, but I'll sort it out.
I'm not hearing them when they speak.
Yeah.
But if you could hear me now, that means the line working.
Yeah.
So maybe they're speaking too low.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. No, I think for some reason I realize when someone is calling from a landline, there seems to be a problem. When somebody's calling from a mobile phone, it seems to be a little better. All right. So I definitely will have to change the local line from where it is to another channel, and so during the day tomorrow we'll sort that out. I think I have a caller on the I think I have a caller there on the WhatsApp. Hello, good night.
Okay, good night.
Hey, Doc, how are you?
Not bad, man, not bad.
All right, you go right ahead.
I saw I got moved away. I had to move away from the phone for a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to comment briefly on this situation vis-a-vis the Cuban doctors, based on a statement that was published, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, in a local paper, and has subsequently been commented on by her Dr. Marisho tonight, and I know our MP David also, Peter David also commented on it, and there was a press release issued by the New National Party, because this is potentially a very concerning problem. Like anything else, I'm not saying that that's the system is perfect, and obviously there will be problems from time to time, which I would imagine that the health authorities will look at and government will look at and try to correct. But given against a background of Cuba's contribution to the health of this country is immeasurable. As a matter of fact, if you go back into the period around 2000, I remind folk that entire complex at the hospital was built out of Cuban funds. This is by a country that has suffered in recent decades because of the blockade from the United States, but they've still found it possible to come into countries like ours and help. I felt at that time, I don't remember exactly when the major block was open. It was sometime around 2000, 2002, there around. I said that the hospital should be given some name to recognize, even back then, 20 years ago, the contribution of Cubans to the country. And if today, if you certainly up to about a year or so ago, there were at least about 10 doctors who were senior doctors within the hospital system. If you remove those doctors, the hospital system would collapse, in the sense that we would not have the level of expertise. You would have manpower. You would always compel in doctors, but the level of expertise that you need to function at consultant level is totally different from the level that you might need to function at a general practice level. Mm-hmm. So I very much hope, and against the background of what happened in the stadium, or what it was supposed to happen in the stadium, when I gathered it was something that made the Cuban authorities feel uncomfortable. Against those type of backgrounds, we will be well advised to ensure that the Cuban authorities feel comfortable and feel appreciated and comfortable with the contribution that they have continued to make. What should have happened over the years is that if you look at it, look at the number of locals who have been trained through SGU, not more than about 10 or so, it's less than 10 locals who have come back home in a specialist capacity, and I stress in a specialist capacity, who were trained from SGU. And there must be well over 200, perhaps over 250. who have doctors who would have been trained, and you have had less than 10 who have come back home and contributed. So that is one of the major problems you face at the hospital. That you need a whole range. And I remember from as way back as 2008, when I left the job, I acted for a short time in the hospital in a senior position. I left the job. I wrote a letter when there was a change of government, and I wrote a letter to the government in my letter of resignation, imploring them to start to look at planning for the future. And but I'm afraid I know the last government, that's the NNP government, they do some work in this respect, but lots more work needs to be going on in many more areas to ensure that you have a sustainable level of service at the highest level. And I'm just speaking about medical. Obviously, there are other problems at the hospital, in the nursing sector, and in many other areas that we've got to buttress. But what I wanted to look at specifically tonight was the problem of top level or specialist doctors. You don't become a specialist overnight. You've got to do your basic training, then you've got to get some experience. You go on and do some more reading. You work under senior people, and then you're left to do that work, and you're monitored. And when you get to that level, you get a postgraduate qualification, and you get some experience behind you, then you're in a position to come and run a firm. Anyone who goes into hospital and comes back to me, I always ask them, who was your consultant? Because that person is the main decision maker on your care. The junior staff is very important, but that person is your main important staff. So let us make sure that the Cubans continue to feel at home here. Of course, some will integrate into the community and will have families in the community. And of course, they can go and set up their shelters then once they have settled their arrangements with the Cuban government.
Okay.
So we need to be clear on the potential dangers there. And I'm glad that I'm seeing a number of people speaking out, the NNP party, Mr. David and Dr. Marshall speaking out about it. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents worth to the whole situation.
All right. Thank you very much, Doc.
Okay, good
right, wonderful. And yeah, I see some people are complaining that they're hearing the callers properly. Some are saying that they're not hearing it properly. So between tonight and tomorrow, we'll work out the problem so that we will not have a reoccurrence of this problem tomorrow night. So if you see it tonight, unsee it tomorrow. You understand? And we ain't had no comment about that. We're going to make sure. Some folks are wondering who the caller was. That was Dr. Bert Braffett. He was formerly the chief medical officer. Yeah. A former lecturer at the St. George University School of Medicine. Internal specialist. He specializes in internal medication and so internal medicine. So you could check him out too. Nice. Right. Great. 440-7377. You can call us on WhatsApp. You can call us directly. Yeah, we're making sure we go in still. All right. You can call us on WhatsApp. You can call us directly. In fact, yeah, let me go over the 4 so far now. We might have to add today onto this list there.
So let me zero in. You have a seed program. The World Bank says if you're making $650 or less, you're poor. Yet still, the seed program is only paying you $350 and $450. They are aware of the World Bank report. Why then raise the seed program to $650 or more?
Well, we'll come back to that. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, good night. Another doctor. Tonight is real doctor's night, boy.
Yes, I want to take the opportunity to make a comment.
Of course.
First of all, I want to really congratulate the government and the people of Cuba for the internationalist work that they have done over the many years. And I saw in the news that they're in Turkey now assisting. You know, Turkey had a major earthquake and lives were lost and so on. And wherever there's a need for these people, they are very much there in the need to lend in the midst to lend a helping hand, and that is what they have done, and that is how they have reached out to us in Grenada and in many other countries. Um, as once Minister for Health, and having had the opportunity to travel to various meetings and forums and fora and conferences internationally, every time I go, I meet ministers from various countries over the world who were trained in Cuba as doctors or trained as other professionals and who were making contributions to their country. And I think we have to be extremely, extremely careful how we speak about these people or any other people who make efforts to help us. That kind of attitude is very despicable. And it's of great concern to me that a sister country, Caribbean, we can say Cuba, who has always been there for us in terms of training people for healthcare and several other professions. And we are found all over Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And as you mentioned earlier, also offering health care that cannot be accessed here in Grenada totally free of cost. In spite of a blockade, in spite of so many challenges and difficulties that they have to confront them on a daily basis, minute by minute, these people are in a constant struggle, and they have done for us. So I want to really endorse and express my appreciation for the new National Party's release, for what others would have said earlier on. And I think it is fitting that we pay tribute to a country and a people who have given so unselfishly. And if there are issues and if there are situations that need to be addressed, then let us address them. Let us fix them. But to cast this kind of shadow on the reputation of that nation who has so valiantly served the world and given so much, I just want to say thanks to Cuba for all they have done. Thanks to the people for the sacrifices that they have made. The past government under Fidel Castro and the present government. And I want to ask them to continue with the heart of gold and giving and continue to help us. And I also want to say that, as Dr. Boyd Braffett mentioned, the number of doctors that were formed in Grenada, Grenadian doctors, we need our Grenadian doctors to do a little more for Grenada as well as for persons from other countries doing for us, especially Cuba. Let us do for our brothers and sisters. And I'm very concerned about certain things, and it's not just now, it is from before, so I don't want anybody to say because they're out of it. But healthcare is always a concern, and there's always more that can be done. Let us come together and do more in health and not criticize and castigate people, maybe very much undeservedly so. So I thank you, Mr. Sheldon. Have a good night.
But Doc, you can't go, Doc. Hello? Yeah, and Doc gone we? Yeah, Doc, forget to remind all you that the Breadfruit Fest, yeah, it's taking place at Sunset City from 11 o'clock. That is taking place in Victoria this Friday, eh? So they start in 11 until, right? So, yeah, you're passing up there. You could get your lunch and everything up there, various breadfruit dishes and so, drinks on sale. And you have cultural performances, all of that up there in St. Mark in Victoria in particular, yeah? Yeah, Dr. Modest, run too fast, man. You can't run so, Doc. You can't run so. Yeah, 4407377. But I have roughly about 10 minutes remaining. And here's what, I've been hearing today, I've been seeing some people keep forwarding messages to me about the situation with the Royal Grenada Police Force. From all indications, it seems as though the present commissioner of police will be gone by the end of this short month that we have called February. So not only will the workers at the Marketing and National Importing Board no longer be employed at the end of this month, but it seems as though we may also be losing our commissioner of police. Let's just take this call. Good night.
Hi, Sheldon. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Another doctor again.
Dr. Modest, my parliamentary representative, she like the Jamaicans would say, she forced me. After Dr. Braffett called in, I was going to call in, but I think it went in a good order.
3 docs in a row.
Sorry?
3 docs in a row.
Yes. I just want to say that I support them in the comments that they made. I strongly support them both. And we have to be very, very careful, like Dr. Modest said, as to, what we do, the comments we make, the kind of journalism that goes out regarding Cuba. We are very concerned about it, those of us who are conscious. And just to say that Dr. Modest and I, we were part of that pioneer group that went to Cuba in 79. And Dr. Braffett mentioned that, the very small percentage of people that come back to serve in our country. But people like Dr. Modest and myself, we saw the need. We could have gone, like some of our colleagues did, but we stayed here. And we stayed to serve. And we still continue to serve. So I heard the release from the New National Party. It was not only, the attack was not only on the Cubans, but it was also on another organization here in Grenada. That organization will make a statement, and thereafter I will come and have more to say.
All right.
But for now, I just want to say that we applaud the effort that Cuba is making. And we were trained there. We were well trained in Cuba. And so I hope that Grenadians take this matter seriously. And it's fortunate, it's very unfortunate how this whole story, journalism story, came about. And we lament it. But as in everything else, this too will pass. And we will continue to support the Cuban mission here. Thank you and good night.
Good night to you, Doc. Yes, indeed. Yeah, 3 doctors in a row, Yeah, 3 in a row. Nice, beautiful. Yeah, I was telling you all that from all indications, the present commissioner of police is on the way out. And I'm seeing the various mouthpieces of the National Democratic Congress saying, basically to the men, did I say that NNP when it comes to leadership, but now they are saying in the Royal Grenada Police Force that there's nobody to take over from the commissioner. Yeah, so they're looking at the deputy commissioner of police and them, they're looking at them. They're saying that we have nobody to take over as commissioner of police in Grenada. That Grenada should look outside to Barbados or somewhere to bring a commissioner of police in our country. For the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, that none of them may qualify. Here's what. You have people already completed their exam, supposed to get their commission to another rank, that can't get it. Because you have people going around asking questions in their communities if these people support the NNP or the NDC. Like if that is a qualification for you to get your rank that you're supposed to get. So you have people who need to go up to sergeant. You have people who need to go up to inspector. You have people who need to go up to superintendent. And they can't get their upgrade. Meanwhile, you have groups of people that are in acting positions whose acting allowance was removed since September 2022, since September last year. And they cannot get a reasoning behind why their acting allowance was removed from their salaries. But since September last year. And up to this point in time, they cannot be confirmed in the position to be getting the proper salary. Up to this point in time. September last year, we in February, soon in March. and they can't get a response. You have the issue of pay and grade, which all of a sudden the document that's so easy to find seems to be impossible for the government of Grenada to find. Yeah? Meanwhile, they're circulating all kind of thing about, they want all the public servants to sign confidentiality clause that you're not supposed to share information. The same people who sharing documents with their people on radio and on social media to attack the new National Party. The same people who taking documents out of the ministries and handing it to their people. And all of a sudden, it's a case of they don't want anybody share anything because they find we knowing too much about too much. They find that we getting too much information about what's going on in all departments. But if you're doing nonsense, and people talk about the nonsense, you ain't supposed to upset. You're supposed to try and fix the nonsense. That is what is supposed to take place. Yeah? But instead of that, they're trying to frighten civil servants so that they wouldn't pass out any information or wouldn't pass on any information. All you send the information. Send it. Don't fret them. Send it. Just be careful you send it. But send it. Yeah, continue to drop the envelope in front of my door. Whether it's the office door, the house door, wherever. Continue to drop the envelope and then with the information in it. They want to know how we're finding out certain bits and pieces of information. Yeah? So let it continue. Let them continue. I will just say no comment. Nah, a commenting. It's not no comment here. A commenting. Because this sort of nonsense has to stop. Folks, it's coming quickly to the end of our time for tonight's program. And some people that say the program's stopping too fast. Nah, I don't think the former Commissioner Thompson is coming back. I don't think that is happening. But we're hearing now that they want to have they're looking now at the possibility of bringing in somebody from outside of Grenada and that sort of thing. Let's just take what should be our final call for tonight. Good night, caller. Hello, good night, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller, you're live. Go right ahead.
Are they on the program going on now?
Yeah, you're live. Yes, go right ahead. No, you need to listen to us on the phone line, brother. You're listening to the... Yeah, you're listening to the thing in the back. Just talk to us on the phone.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that this fella thing has lies and it comes to lies, so we better stop this stupid. That's all I have to say.
All right, caller. Thank you so very much. Hello? Hello? I would like you, caller, to please call back and tell us what we have said thus far that you can prove is a lie. It's easy to call a person a liar. That doesn't get under my skin. But I am giving you the opportunity to call back and say anything that we have said on this program tonight or any other program that is a lie. Call us back. We're giving you the opportunity. We have roughly 2 minutes or so remaining, and we're giving you the opportunity to call back. All you want the number to call him? Nah, he wasn't rude, man. He just said that we lying. But we know what has happened with them. When they're speaking the truth, they can't take it because they drink that transformation water. So they can't take it. So in the morning when you hear they're roaming onto certain programs and you hear they're saying this and they're saying that and all kind of... If you don't know, we are here to educate you. Yeah? The same way the Prime Minister didn't know this afternoon when he was asked the question. So we hope that he's educated by now in relation to that situation. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. We will be back, God's willing, tomorrow night with more talking points for you. And of course, it's always wonderful being here with you. We want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here. We will be back tomorrow night from 8 p.m. with more talking points.
So much people complaining about the government. I wonder why they complaining when it's only 1 year they spent. They come in and complain to me, which I find strange, because the election victory, majority voted for change. So then I start to wonder, what is some of them seen? Why come